People around the world are grappling with concepts that can sound intimidating: inflation, recession risk, and market volatility. Welcome. Today, we will look at a question that many people around the world are asking themselves. Why does the world feel so unstable in early 2026? It is a pervasive feeling, an undercurrent of anxiety that seems to touch everything from the headlines we read to the conversations we have at the dinner table. We see shifting alliances, volatile markets, political landscapes that seem to change with breathtaking speed. To understand this complex moment, we will explore three big reasons behind this sense of global unease. The goal here is not to alarm, but to clarify. This essay promises a clear roadmap to navigate the noise. First, the world map in 2026 shows more active zones of tension than it did just a few years ago, creating a distinct sense of geopolitical instability. More active zones of tension, red zones and orange areas, light up across the globe. Animated lines trace disrupted shipping routes and energy pipelines. In some regions, long simmering disputes have erupted into open warfare, displacing populations, disrupting global supply chains. In other areas, new and intense rivalries between major powers have emerged, playing out in the arena of technology, playing out in the arena of trade, playing out in the arena of diplomacy. It is crucial to think of these geopolitical problems as existing on two distinct levels. One is the overt, kinetic reality of war, with its immediate and tragic human consequences. The other is a slower, more insidious form of pressure: economic coercion, cyber attacks, proxy conflicts. A clear and sobering example is the protracted war between country A and country B, now entering another difficult year. This conflict did not remain contained within its borders. Its effects rippled across the globe. It triggered a massive refugee crisis, sending millions in search of safety, creating immense strain on neighboring countries. For a significant period, it caused a sharp spike in global oil prices and a spike in grain prices, translating into higher energy bills and food costs for families thousands of miles away. For people far removed from the front lines, the war manifested in less direct but still meaningful ways. It prompted a realignment of security priorities and increased military spending. New and advanced weaponry entered the region, creating a more dangerous, unpredictable environment. The conflict became a focal point for global diplomacy, straining relationships between nations on opposing sides. A simple map that illuminates these zones, with animated lines showing disrupted shipping routes or pipelines, helps visualize the connections. And a short, poignant clip of people waiting in line for food or fuel translates geopolitical instability into a human story of struggle and resilience. Section 5. The ballot box and its global echoes. Next, we turn to the second major driver of global instability: the profound impact of elections. The series of major national votes that took place in 2024, followed by other significant elections through 2025 and into early 2026, has fundamentally reshaped the political leadership in many key countries. Elections are the primary mechanism through which citizens express their will, but their consequences extend far beyond national borders. New leaders bring new priorities, new ideologies, and new approaches to foreign policy. A change in government in one major capital can alter the dynamics of an entire region, affecting international alliances, trade agreements, and global norms. In several influential nations, voters have chosen leaders who champion more nationalist or populist agendas. These leaders often prioritize what they perceive as the national interest above all else, advocating for stronger borders, protectionist trade policies, a more skeptical view of international cooperation. This shift can lead to the fraying of long-standing alliances and the weakening of multilateral institutions that have helped maintain global stability for decades. For example, when a country that was once a champion of free trade elects a leader who imposes new tariffs, it can set off a chain reaction of retaliatory measures from other nations, disrupting global commerce and making goods more expensive for everyone. Image: a timeline of major global elections from 2024 to 2026, with photos of the winning leaders and short notes on key policy shifts. Conversely, in other parts of the world, elections have brought to power leaders with very different visions. Some new governments have been elected on platforms promising greater social welfare, increased investment in green energy, and a renewed commitment to international collaboration. Think of a factory worker in country C whose job depends on exporting automotive parts. When a newly elected leader in a major importing country implements a buy local policy, the factory in country C loses its biggest contract. Finally, we arrive at the economy, the thread that ties many of these global worries together into a tangible household concern. People around the world are grappling with concepts that can sound intimidating: inflation, recession risk, and market volatility. These are not just abstract economic terms. They describe the pressures that families feel in their daily lives. They are directly linked to the geopolitical conflicts and political shifts we have already discussed. The most persistent economic challenge of the past few years has been inflation. Simply put, inflation means your money buys less than it used to. In 2025, a combination of extreme weather events and lingering supply chain disruptions caused a noticeable spike in food prices in several countries. Here's the staple food price trend, 2024, to present. For many families, this meant making difficult choices at the grocery store, perhaps cutting back on fresh produce or meat. Imagine a family that used to spend $100 a week on groceries. Due to inflation, that same basket now costs $110. That extra $10 has to come from somewhere. One less trip to the movies, a delayed car repair, less into savings. This persistent pressure has forced central banks around the world to act. Their primary tool is raising interest rates. A young couple's monthly mortgage payment shot up. They had to put their dream on hold. The deliberate slowing of the economy raises the risk of a recession. Markets get jumpy in uncertainty. Falling markets shrink retirement savings. The challenge is convergence, multiple problems amplifying each other. That interplay makes early 2026 feel fragile. In short, the pervasive feeling of instability that characterizes our world in 2026 stems from a powerful and interconnected triad of forces. First, ongoing geopolitical conflicts, the rise of great power rivalries, have created shocks to the global system. Second, a series of pivotal elections ushered in new leaders and policies, altering alliances and adding uncertainty. Finally, these factors converge in the economy: persistent inflation, recession risk, and volatile markets. But it is crucial to end on perspective, not panic. Foundations are stressed, but not broken. Institutions, trade systems, and diplomacy continue to function. Stability at the local level is a powerful counterbalance. Think and act locally, support neighbors, build modest preparedness. The wisest path forward is to stay informed, remain calm, and remember that small acts of care and community are what sustain us through even the most challenging of times.